we're driving through the hilly country now. This is, it's not like this all over Wisconsin. To the north, it's very flat, where it was cleared out by the glaciers. And that's true to the east and the west over in Minnesota. And even to the south of here, it's much flatter. This whole region in here is sort of an island that was untouched by the glaciers and still has its old hills. And it's the part that the Norwegians chose to settle in. They really liked it back in the hills here. They, I guess, felt a little more secure. Besides their Norwegian neighbors, a lot of the Norwegians found themselves living side by side with Yankees, with Polish neighbors, with Irish, with Germans, Bohemians, Finnish. So in those first years, the Norwegians picked up the music of the people they were with. They learned to play tunes like Skverdans and called them Yankee dances.
What would it sound like with swing guitar?
Well, I got interested in the Norwegian music, I guess, because I'm a fiddle player myself, and for some reason most of the fiddle playing in the state is Norwegian. When you look at the Wisconsin Norwegian music, there's some things that are typical of it. One is that, well, it has a lot of the old forms from Norway. I mean, it's based on, you know, the waltz, the schottische, the polka. Some people still play mazurka. Occasionally you'll find, very rarely, but you'll find a howling tune or a few old remnants like that. But it's obvious that it began to change as soon as it came to this country, and that's what we're most interested in. The tradition has kind of stopped in a lot of cases with the older people, and there's just been a big gap, and unless we start to make it available, young people are just not directly in touch with these older fiddlers. So we're trying to make that connection. As you get to meet people and understand how they value their music, you realize that there's a whole other branch of music, and that's the stuff that is not the old Norwegian music, but it's really Wisconsin Norwegian. It's the hybrid form of music that people have developed over the years and which has come to have a special place in this state. I think the Norwegians in this part of the state are much closer bound by respect for traditions and by old family ties. And you can see it in the music. A lot of the music is just passed down within families, within very small neighborhoods. It's Yeah, it's got this hill country has a special flavor to it, and I try not to miss too many opportunities to have an excuse to drive through here.
Here's another polka for you, one called Hansens Hop-waltz. Okay, we're gonna do a shake-a-lopa. It's just like a waltz.
Bloms play shagalopa, which again they learned in this country, and they do a dance to it, which actually the tune they play can be traced back to Gudbrandsdal. It's has been recorded in Gudbrandsdal, but the Blom family's not, they just learned it from other people in the Blair area, so you can start to see how the tunes are passed around. And obviously they play it with a piano backup, so it's typical Wisconsin music, although of Norwegian origin. Blom family is typical of the old-time family bands, which there used to be quite a few of around the Midwest, but there really aren't so many left. They're one of the few, maybe 4 or 5 in the Midwest, that really still play as a family, where children are learning from their parents. It's a very old tradition. It's what makes the Norwegian Americans here still linked to their past.
You eat lefse, Phil? You aren't that much Norwegian, huh?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure glad you come anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's, you know, I was just looking at some of my old tapes and realizing it was about 1977 or so, I think, that I first got up this way.
Is that right?
We were wondering how long ago.
Some of those early tapes.
Yeah, you and Lewis who come that time?
Yeah, so it's been... I first met the Blom family about 9 or 10 years ago now. Must have been at a fiddle contest up in, I think it was Cashton, years ago, and the kids were all much smaller, and yeah, I think Lisa was chording on the piano, Carrie was there,
You were still there when Hackers
maybe
did
she
their
was
little
singing or maybe not.
I guess when I started singing, I sang more than the rest of them. And then he was talking Norwegian a little bit, and then he just got me into singing it.
Far og mor min og bestefar og bestemor min, de taler norsk hele tiden, de vet du. Og det gjorde alt vi taler hjemme var norsk hele tiden, da jeg var småtapp. Bestefar og bestemor min kommer fra Telemark, på Blomhaugen siden. Og bestemor på Jare siden kommer fra Såler. Og bestefar min kommer fra Danmark. Så jeg er litt av hvert da, vet du. Jeg spilte mandolin, og bror min spilte gitar til å starte med. Jeg først begynte, og da vel søster min sang, du vet du. Og da var det så jeg begynte å befele. Vi spilte som dans, og sommertid tok med hatten rundt, og vi fikk en 2-3 daler, da, vet du. Sommertid fikk vi ikke noe, men det var mor og lella, vet du. Og jeg brukte å kunne spille i 4 timer, og først selv jeg spilte samme toner. Men nå, vet du, spiller de overalt nå, vet du. Kan ikke komme ikke så mange.
I guess I was kind of bored one night when Mom and Dad were playing out. And this is about 9 years ago, I suppose. I just thought it'd be fun, so I picked it up and started playing the tune. And they come home and I played them a song. So, I don't know, kind of picked it up on my own, I guess.
Well, I guess it was basically when my dad had his heart problems in 1975. Then we all just sort of took up singing, and I started to play piano, chording piano and things like that. And then as everyone else started to play the fiddle, and I thought, I want to try that too. So I kind of did. And I've been playing that for a few years now.
I can't really imagine our family without music. It's been really important, especially since LeRoy's been sick a lot. That's kind of filled in the gap. When he wasn't able to work and things he couldn't do, then he was able to do this and everybody else took part, and it just really helped.
Og da i november i 1977 hadde jeg et slag da. Jeg visste ikke akkurat, jeg kunne ikke få det til å gå veien jeg brukte på. Jeg visste ikke hva jeg gjorde, for jeg kunne ikke få fingrene mine til å gå veien jeg ville. Jeg gikk ikke til doktoren eller noe, og da i desember da, samme året, en måned senere, da hadde jeg en tilslag. Og hele venstre siden min, jeg vet hva jeg kaller paralyse, så jeg kunne ikke spille. Og Mark, han tok plassen min, for jeg kunne ikke spille. Så det veien jeg, kanskje en raring, men det veien jeg filer som Gud fortalte han til å lære. For jeg kunne ikke lære noen. I just want them to play the way I learned them, because that's the way I think they're supposed to be, and that's the old-fashioned way, old-time way of playing them. And that's why I just want to keep the old tunes going, see.
I guess there aren't too many family bands right around here, but we're really proud of our family, and we're glad that they all were interested enough so we could have our own little band. They're getting older and older now, so they're leaving the nest, and it's getting harder, but we're really glad that we did these things when they were all home, and I think they are too. Be a lot of memories, lots of good times.
Okay, let's try Walking My Lord.
On the cross as he hung, shame was forsaken. As they drove the nails in his hands and his feet.
Det er mange plasser de har spurt oss til å komme, men de har ikke råd til å reise så langt, vet du. Like opp med Canada-borderen, vet du, opp med Nord-Dakota oppi der, og Utah har vi spurt, det kom Arizona har vi spurt, og Mexico har vi spurt oss å komme ned dit, vet du. Men det blir for langt å reise, det koster for mye, vet du. Jeg har alt, men jeg ønsker ikke, selv med en småtapp, så jeg kunne reise til Norge. Jeg har alt, men jeg ønsker det. Men jeg har ikke råd til å komme dit, så. Men de sier det så pent på det i Norge, derfor jeg skal like å være borti der. Og jeg ønsker mange år at jeg har skilverk borti der, men jeg vet ikke hva jeg kan finne ut. Jeg vet ikke hva de kaller det på en bestefar, eller skal jeg si. Han ene i blæret, han kom bort, og da bestefaren min var riktig ung. Jeg vet ikke om far min visste om det eller ikke, det vet jeg ikke, men vi var dette kanskje 3 år siden, så vi fant ut at det her, 2-3 år siden, så vi fant ut at han var begrøven her i blær.
The Blair area is special because there have been so many fiddlers here for many, many years. I'm not sure why this one town has kept a stronger tradition than a lot of other towns. One fellow, Selmer Halverson, an old timer in town here, he has a list of about 80 fiddlers that he grew up with and has played with just in this area.
En god som er den nabben med en som heter Oskar Nyen. Den gubben kunne spille Hallingen han. Og springdans, vet du, det var... De brukte springdans lite grann i gamle dager. For vi hadde Valders oppi dalen der. Oppe var det som var Valders her. Ja, han... Hva var det hette han som var nede på? Rudy Jackson. Så har du vært der som Rudy. Fikk du så Hardangerfela hans? Den Hardangerfela der, den kjøpte den billig, han kjøpte for $50.
It's a Helen violin. It's made in 1905. Yeah, he come to this country about 1908, and he traded a bicycle for it. In Norway, he said. I bought this violin at an auction at Pete Osland years ago.
Well, Rudy Jackson has been a musician and a collector of old instruments and 78s. Would you be willing to show us around the place a little bit? We'd kind of like to see what...
Take the violin along now.
Oh, you can leave it here.
I'll leave it here.
We'd just like to see what you have here.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been collecting, of course, for 45, 50 years. Yeah, I'll show you over here. There's a few things. I'll show you my elephant. That keeps polka time. That's polka time.
So where did you get all this stuff from?
Oh, at auctions, putting all of it. See, I've been going to auctions, you know, and that's where I got putting all my violins too, of course. And records, of course, putting all of them. See, I have over 12,000 records, you know.
That's quite a collection.
From the cylinders up to the modern ones. I used to have a lot of guns, but I sold most of my guns. I have these, just keep these for. I don't hunt anymore, you know. And here's Edison records. These thick Edison records. And about 2,000 cylinder records. These are cylinders. You want to play, you want to hear? Let's see. What I have in low.
Rudy, could I get you to play a tune on your button accordion? Could I? Yeah, could I talk you into that? Yeah, if you just want to have a seat there.
I think that's a good tune now.
Yeah, maybe one that your father used to play, you know?
I play a polka. Huh?
Okay.
If I could think of one. Well, I play a waltz, I guess.
That sounds good. He played a lot with this one old-timer who was well known in the area, Isaac Nelson. He was a traveling salesman. He went from door to door selling things like spices.
So if it's something you wanted, he'd go out and get it, see. And he'd play for you, see. He was very good, you know. He liked to play the fiddle, and he really very good. So I learned a lot of the tunes from him then, you see, but I played sometimes the cello with him. Most of the time, a great big accordion. Neighbors, you know, would come over and then have a little party and dance and stuff.
Did you used to play for some of these house parties yourself, or in the schools?
Oh, we entertained there sometimes, you know. There was a lot of that years ago. Don't hear of it anymore now.
Huh.
Don't hear of any house parties anymore.
So they were mostly Norwegians around here?
What?
It was mostly Norwegians around here, huh?
Oh, yes, I would say. In Blair, especially, and Whitehall.
Uh-huh.
It's mostly Norwegians.
Your
but
father...
of course, it's getting less and less of them because you see, they move in, you know, other people, you know, Germans and everything. There's quite a few Germans around, too.
So your father was from Norway?
Yeah, he come from this country. He was 6 years old. Come with his folks.
Where was he from in Norway?
Gudbrandsdalen.
I see.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Henry. Yeah, he always calls him, but his real name is Hans. But you know, there are so many Hanses around at that time, so he changed it a little bit. They call it Henry Jackson. See.
I see. And he played the button accordion.
Yeah, one list like this one.
I see.
That's where I learned it too. He was good too. He played for parties all over.
Did you learn some of these old time tunes from your father?
Oh yeah.
What
Yeah.
what was your
Let's see, here's another one, that polka. I think that's on the record too. You want me to play that?
Sure. Why not? Sure.
That's one my dad used to
Sure.
play.
That's great. So how long have you been living in this schoolhouse here?
Oh, I've been here about, I would say at least 23 years, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did,
My wife moved with me down to see it, but she didn't live more than about a couple of years afterwards. She come down here. She had multiple sclerosis. There's no cure for that.
I see.
Yeah. So I've been living alone then since then, for about 20 years.
Just with the stuff you've collected, huh?
Yeah, I had most of it on the farm,
I see.
in the house, upstairs in the room. Yeah, I have about 40 violins too, you know, all together. And a bass fiddle and a cello you seen out there. Yeah. I can't really play a tune, you know.
Yeah.
I don't practice.
This will be just like the old days, huh?
Yeah,
The-
yeah.
Yeah, is it? The cello.
Yeah.
And in a schoolhouse too. Yeah, so let's just sit down here. Shall we try dum-dee-dum-doo? Okay.
Martin, did you see one like this?
No, that's a new one to me. So,
I should have seen the one
Yeah.
I had in the basement.
I'll bet you got a few stuck around. I got to be going.
Okay.
So thanks for the visit.
I'll see you
Yeah.
then sometime.
Okay. And I'll send you those records. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay, Rudy. I got.
Well, I'll see you again then sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This summer I'll be back.
Yeah.
So, thanks for the tour. It's a great tour.
Ja, welcome.
Okay.
Ja.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Følger jeg var så her da.
Ja. Tack ska du ha.
Ja.
Ja. thinking just now, I figured out I must have traveled in the last 10 years as a folklorist, something like, must be like 250,000 miles around the state. Let's see. I suppose it's sort of funny that I've gotten this involved with the Norwegian music, being not of Norwegian background myself. My background is just sort of old American, Scotch-Irish, maybe way back somewhere, a little German. My grandparents came from the hill country of West Virginia and Kentucky, so I really should be playing hillbilly music, I guess. But my grandparents left that for the industrial towns of Ohio, and then my parents moved out here to Wisconsin, so I grew up mostly in Wisconsin. I've lived here since high school and really feel that this is my state and that the music that's around me is my music, so I feel that the Norwegian music is the only music I could be playing. It would be very strange if I was playing Scotch-Irish music, for instance. And that music doesn't particularly appeal to me, but let me hear an old Norwegian waltz and then I'm really happy. One thing I realized right away was that there really wasn't anyone else who was collecting this music in the state. When I first started out doing this, I thought, well, maybe do it for a year or two, but here it is 10 years, and I feel like I've just begun in some ways. Well, we've been officially organized really for just about 3 or 4 years, and are still just sort of getting set up. It's mostly myself and a couple other folklorists who work with us. I'm the only full-time person, but the others work on projects when we get grant money for that. So it's kind of from a beginning to end kind of operation. Wisconsin Folklife Center, this is Phil. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, you bet. We got the building. Yeah, the board approved it on Saturday. It was hard work, but they went with it. And yeah, we should be closing by the end of the month, and yeah, it should be open this summer for a museum. Yeah, I need to just round up some stuff to put in it now. I was just up at Rudy Jackson's, and he's got a beautiful Helland fiddle. So somewhere we should try and find a Hardanger fiddle to put in there, do a little exhibit. We are opening a folk arts museum this summer, starting a series of ethnic music recordings. Two of the records are on the Norwegian folk music in the state here. Tunes from the America Trunk and Across the Fields. They have families like the Blom family. Rudy Jackson's on this. We're playing a couple tunes too. And this is one we didn't produce. It's one of Leonard Finseth's records, one that he did with Bob Andreessen. So we also try and collect stuff like this. It's done by other people and then help to promote it. Did a record on German folk music the last few years. Yeah, we stay busy. The Folklife Center here is tied in with Folklore Village, which is out in the countryside by Dodgeville. It's a little one-room schoolhouse set out in the hills of Wisconsin, in the dairy country out there. And it's run by a woman, Jane Farwell, who is really the inspiration for a lot of us to be doing this.
It was, I think, about 19 years ago that I came home from living in Germany. I knew that I had to start my own place of folklore where we could celebrate the seasons of the year and teach people something about their own heritage and their own roots. And then all of a sudden there was an opportunity to get this schoolhouse, which was a place right away. And it was then that we started a regular program of folk arts and folk music and folk dancing, which I had been doing all my life, but it was so wonderful to have a place where it all came together. And so that's what Folklore Village is about.
We get together out there and play this music just for the fun of it, and it's become our music, and I think we've learned more what the music is and why it's important. It's not just notes on a paper, but yeah, something that's a part of us, and if you don't enjoy it, what's the point of researching it?
It's a link with the past, but if you don't have a link with the past and with the traditions of the past, you can't build any future that's very secure. You have to build on what you have been and what you are.